bets, go ahead and flex some. Pick winners all the time, hit it on a daily. This is all free, you don't even have to pay me. Welcome to episode 62 of the Daft Previews podcast show here on YouTube. As you can see, it is me and only me. It is yours truly. It is Dan. Luke's got MIA on me. He's moving around in the state. Who the fuck knows where he is? But he's not here with us today. So I'll be running it solo. And a lot of people aren't going to be able to tune into the live stream because I'm doing this at midday on a Thursday. But it'll be recorded for everybody to watch back later. So in today's episode, I'll be taking you through my best bets for both of the games in week 2 of the NRL Finals. I'll tell you what single bets I like. I'll share with you what multis I'm on. I'll even give you some unit recommendations. And if you're too fucking lazy to watch this, I'll be sharing this in the Discord before the games start. So I'll do a little bit of screen sharing so you don't have to fucking watch me the whole time. But yes, this is the Daft Previews merch if you were wondering. This is the black hoodie. This is the dad hat that we have. And I've also got a black shirt in the background which just arrived. New sample, better materials. It's fucking getting hot in here. So if you're interested in buying some merch, head on to daftpreviews.com. The link is in the description. If you do want to join our Discord, the link is also in the description of this video. Now, let's talk a bit of rugby league. We've only got 2 games. I'll see if I can keep this under 20 minutes. But seeing that I'm by myself, I'm sure I will. So let's get some screen sharing going on. I'll take you through the odds. We'll talk through the lineups, and I'll tell you what the fuck I think happens in this game. All right. So first up, we've got the Parramatta Eels versus the Canberra Raiders. This is at CommBank Stadium on a Friday evening at 7:50 p.m. So Parramatta are the favourites for this one at $1.50. Canberra at $2.60. The line is 6.5 points. If you're looking at totals, 41.5 points if you want to go over or under. So last week, in terms of Parramatta and their lineup, Mitch Moses copped a massive knee last week. If it was any other game, it wasn't the finals, he wouldn't be playing this week, that's for sure. But apparently he's right to go. So, but something to watch closely. Interesting enough, Brad Arthur's still named his son Jacob on the bench as cover. I guess given Mitchell Moses's concussion last week, it's not a bad play to have. But also, you know, he's been on the bench for most of this year anyway. So it's not like it's just because Moses is potentially out. And if you're looking at the Raiders, Adam Elliott, he's out. Pelvic injury, Corey's in, Ryan Sutton's in. So not too much changes for the Canberra Raiders in this game. So looking at this one, where's the juice? I guess everyone's wondering who's going to win this game. So Parramatta's known to fucking fail in the finals, and I'm starting to really believe that myself. A couple of weeks ago, I thought they wouldn't, but they've been quite average, I must say, in terms of the fact that they're not playing 80 minutes of football. They play usually a solid 40 minutes. Even in the games that they've won, they played very well in the first half and really dropped off in the second. Even before Moses went off last week, the Panthers were absolutely giving it to them. So I'm a bit off Parramatta at the moment. So you see some of my bets are kind of leaning towards the Raiders. The Raiders have come into the finals with great form. They've only lost games to the top teams. Outside of that, they're getting work done. They did beat Melbourne last week. I know they got a little bit lucky off a Falcon that resulted in a try, but at the end of the day, you take that try away, they still would have won that game. So personally, I'm liking Canberra in this one. Might be worth it. A cheeky upset. If you get a power odds boost from Sportsbet for Canberra, I would take that because the values will be over. $2.60. Bookie's probably got it a bit right there. Not too confident to touch that. But looking at my best bets, there's 2 that I really like in this game, in the Parramatta versus Canberra game. So the very first one is Canberra Raiders to cover the first half line. So that's 3.5 at the moment. That's $1.90. So for that particular one, I'd suggest throwing 2 units on. 2 units for Canberra to cover the first half. I got a bit more confidence with Canberra. The difficult thing about this one is both teams play well for one half most of the time. So it's about who's going to bitch it and who is not. I like the energy that Canberra's playing with, whereas Parramatta had an opportunity last week and they fucked it. I don't know if they got nervous, but their middles didn't bring the appropriate energy which was required for the game. So I'm liking Canberra and the work they're doing around the middle of the park. Fogarty's been great for them. Whiten's still excellent despite kicking it out on the full from time to time, and their backs are getting some work done. So I'm liking the Canberra Raiders plus 3.5 at $1.90. The other best bet, I normally look to avoid try scorers, and everyone who knows me knows I do this, but when the man's hot and the value is on, you can't ignore it. So the only try scorer I've got at the moment within this Canberra game is I'm looking at Hudson Young at $3.60. Now, I think you can only get him at $3.60 on Sportsbet. I've seen him as low as $2.80, I think, on Neds and Ladbrokes, and even Bet365. So the fact that you're getting an extra 80 cents for an anytime try scorer, and the fact that this bloke's been scoring, I think he scored in 5 straight games or something. I think if you want to juice it up a little bit, Hudson Young to score in the second half. I think 80% of those 5 tries came in the second half, especially when the game is on the line. You can even take more from there. So I've got 1 unit on Hudson Young to score a try anytime. If you're looking at multis, so I'm going to share this within the Discord. You'll probably see it all over Instagram if you follow us. But I've been doing these 3-leggers for quite a while now, and it's really good for those punters who don't have massive bankroll either to chase juice on the singles. So with this multi, it's 3 legs. It's over $2. It means you can get your bet returns on it and everything like that. Quite simply, the first leg is for Canberra to cover 7.5 points in the first half. So I do think they'll cover 3.5. Looking back, if they do lose, they might lose 12-10. That's only a 2-point. So you can really tease this line out to 7.5, which means even if Canberra fall 1 try short, provided they kick the goal, they'll only lose the first half by 6, meaning that leg's a tick. Hopefully Canberra wins that first half anyway, and this comes in easy. But Canberra plus 7.5 in the first half. The other, I'm looking at over 30.5 points in this game. I know it's finals, but we haven't seen many or any games go under and have that finals type atmosphere about it. I think given the rule changes as well, it kind of makes it difficult to have those grindy types of games. The number of 6 agains, the penalties are killers. And I think strategically teams are just a lot better these days. So over 30.5 points, I can see both teams scoring 3 tries each at least. The other I'm looking at is Canberra plus 18.5. That's only a really short leg, but that takes it over $2, gives you the green light to get a bet return as well. So I was looking at even taking a Parramatta plus 12.5, but I'm worried that they could absolutely shit the bed here. There's potential for Canberra even to 13 plus them. These teams are difficult to bet on, and if forms that we've got, there's no real finals history or recent finals history between these teams. In terms of coaching, Ricky's proven he can get his team a bit further. Canberra did play a grand final not so long ago, and they may have been robbed within that game, but I think Ricky's got the medal to get that team across the line, whereas Parramatta, they normally get to the prelim, and that's where they tend to stop. So they could go out in straight sets here, the Parramatta team, if Canberra get their way. So Canberra plus 7.5 in the first half, over 30.5 points, and Canberra plus 18.5. That'll get you $2.15. I've got more confidence in my multis than I do on just singles. So I personally have 3 units on this game, looking to scoop some of those son of a bitches right there. Now, jumping, I guess, before we jump, I guess one thing on Micah Seaver. So everyone's going to have Micah Seaver on their multis. I know he always scores at Bank West, but I think just looking at the odds, it's too short for me. So I personally won't be touching Sevo. The biggest tip I can give you is not to make a try score multi in this game. They're difficult as fuck to pick. I see a lot of people lose a lot of money from doing that type of shit. So try to run with safer odds or singles as much as you can. If you're just doing this for fun, chuck as many try scorers as you want. But I know a lot of people who watch this, a lot of people who are in the Discord, they're actually serious about making profits. So if you're all about making profits, listen to what I'm saying. Now, into the next game, we've got the Cronulla Sharks versus the South Sydney Rabbitohs. So in this one, Cronulla are $1.95. So they were at $2 earlier this week. They've come in a little bit. South from $1.80 moved to $1.85. Still favourites. The line is 1.5 points. Totals are 43.5. So it's an interesting one on the ground on this one. Cronulla should have the home ground advantage. So the team that finished higher in the competition by the end of the round. But given the fact that their field is currently being fixed up and shit and renovated, the NRL's moved this game to Allianz. So technically it's a Cronulla Sharks home ground, but there's probably going to be more Rabbitohs fans in there. It's a fucking mess, I tell you. But Cronulla, it's pretty much a pick 'em. The line is 1.5 points if you like Cronulla, and totals you're looking at 43.5. Looking at the lineups though, the Sharks haven't made any changes to their team, which is interesting. Will Kennedy just came back last week. He was a bit average, so he'll be a lot better for that run. For the Rabbitohs, despite the number of sin bins last week, only Thomas Burgess was suspended out of that game. So Tane Milne got sin bin twice, no suspension for him, so he continues to play. But yeah, it's pretty much a pick 'em. It's a very difficult matchup to pick, to be honest. When they versed earlier this year, I think it went to Golden Point. I think Nico Hines might have slot the dagger, but look, there was only 1 point between them. Oh, actually, fuck, might have been Matt Moylan, because I think Nico Hines was spraying him, Latrell was spraying him. Either way, it's going to be a cracker match, this one. So this one has been more difficult to pick a winner. But I've got two best bets that you can play as singles in this one, and of course I've got a same game multi for you. So the very first one, which I have 2 units on, is for the first half points to go over 20.5. So we're looking at 4 total tries, really, and hopefully these blokes can kick. Latrell's got a laser on him, and Nico Hines can be hit and miss, but Cronulla tend to score a lot of points in the first half anyway. So I know it's a finals, and they should come out with the right intensity, all that type of shit, but with that intensity comes a rush of blood. It becomes a lot of offside penalties, high aggression. It should be a fast start, and points will come. So I'm liking the over 20.5, and you can get that at $1.96 on Sportsbet. I checked some other bookies when I placed this bet, and I think it's about $1.90, $1.88 or something like that. So Sportsbet definitely the one to choose for this one, over 20.5 points. I've got 2 units on that one. And if you're looking at try scorers, I've gone with Cody Walker to score a try anytime at $3.25. I've got 1 unit on that. He tends to step up at this time of year, especially when it comes to scoring points. And I think his overs at $3.25, to be honest. Given the fact that the total points are 43.5, so the bookies are expecting a lot more points in this one than that Parramatta game. I think we'll see points in both games, to be honest. Pretty high score, and I think both games will go well over 40. And I'm bagging Cody Walker to score a try here. I know everyone's going to get on AJ. I think it's $1.78, which is actually pretty good. But I personally wanted a bit more juice, so I could spend a little bit less, to be honest. So I'm taking Cody Walker, $3.25. Now, the same game multi on this game, another 3 legs. You can get your bet return on it. Pretty straightforward, this one. So I've got both teams to score more than 15.5 points, pretty much. So looking at 3 tries, 2 of them to be converted from both teams. And the other, I'm looking at the Sharks plus 12.5 in the first half. So the Sharks have been pretty good in the first half. Last week was the only week where they actually didn't win it for quite some time. They went into halftime with a draw, which happens if you just let the Cowboys score under the post every single time. They won't miss a kick. So I think the Sharks that cover that 12.5. That's only a very cheap odd leg, and that just enables that bet return. So that's a $2 multi. I've got 3 units on it. Cronulla and South over 15.5 points each, and the Cronulla Sharks with a plus 12.5 within the first half. What are some other things to let you know to be aware of? We've got Mulatalo. He's gone a little bit quiet try scoring wise so far. Had a really hot patch mid-year, but towards the end of the year, he's kind of slowed down a little bit. I think he's overvalued, so his odds are a bit under than I would like them to be, so I want to touch them. Spoke about Alex Johnson. His odds aren't too bad. If they still had $1.78, you could probably have a dabble at that, but that's just a little bit too short for me. I do have Cody Walker. I think Lachlan Ilias is a chance as well. I think Rabbitohs halves, you can look at them. And if you're looking at the Sharks, who do we have? You can look at one of their halves. Their halves may cross. Britton Nakora, he started scoring tries recently. And if you want someone who's been quite consistent throughout the year, Teague Wilton is also a good option. But For me personally, I'm only touching Cody Walker in this game. Betting on try scorers is a quick way to lose money. So I predict there shall be points in both games in this round. I'm expecting some quality action. I think the one to really watch. What's going to be most exciting for that Cronulla game would be the most exciting. But for that Parramatta game, it's just I'm keen to watch that one just to see how they respond, because this is basically the last chance. They lose Papali'i next year. They lose Reid Marnie. So their window is closing very fast and when they can win a premiership. So I think with those two out, they won't be a contender next year. So this is their only chance. So it's interesting to see how they respond. So real keen to watch that game closely. Talking a bit more about the Discord. Now, our Discord, whilst I'm sharing my screen, I didn't fucking share it to you. Why not? I've only been going for 15 minutes. So when we talk about the Discord, this is what we're referring to. So this Discord server, we've got 675 members there at the moment. What are the key things that people like to play with? So this is our winning slips channel. It's where everybody shares all the wins every single day. So it's only 11:49 at the moment, and this is what we've got so far. We've got some Major League Baseball wins. That's a multi from myself with goal scorers from the soccer. More baseball, more soccer. I guess that's really all you can bet on at this time of day. So we've got a lot of winning slips. We've got a channel just for tips. So we've got the Extreme NRLs. So these are my tips that I share. We've got Cranks, who's our lord of tennis, dabbles in a fair bit of soccer as well, touches on cricket and racing. We've got Uncle Camo's tips. So he does some racing tips. He does the best of the day every single day. I think his best of the day, they hit it about 63%. So if you follow his and only his, you'd be laughing. His AFL tips hit at 58%, so it's pretty juicy. This is Uncle Hobbo, big ball Hobbo. Bets on anything and everything. He does bets of the days with racing as well. Him and Camo have competitions every single week, so they both kind of compete. They share their best bets when it comes to racing, so definitely worth following those two lads. We've got Cashy and the Mock Sport, so these boys are big on dabble. They've got their own podcast, massive into racing, but also they share some tips on AFL. We've got Sweet Woozy. Woozy's a fucking OG when it comes to the dabble game. He's got one of the most followers I've seen for a sports bettor. He shares his hitters markets in the MLB, a lot of baseball tips, dabbles in pretty much everything, loves a bit of NFL, even some college football, he's on it, and also the AFL. So Woozy's a really good all-rounder, big on dabble. And we've got Baseball Beck. So Beck has been in the group for quite some time. She's our go-to when it comes to hitting best bets on the baseball. She says best bet every day, plus some multis. She also does some AFL stuff for us on the weekend. And we've also got the Daft Previews Best Bets multi. It's where all the extremely aroused, we put our heads together, we figure out what multis we like, we put all the legs together and we share it for the group. Outside of that, we've got punting threads for almost every single sport that you can potentially bet on. So we've got NRL, NBA, AFL, NFL, soccer, tennis, racing, combat sports, esports, cricket, baseball, motor racing, fuck, you know it. We've got all the punting threads that you could ever dream of, and if we don't, you let us know and we add that. We also have something called the Grotto, which is a place for people to really chat and get things out. It's not related to betting. We can talk about, we've got a Get It Out channel where people air whatever issues and concerns that they have. They get support from the community. We've got a place called the Gift of Giving where people will, share charities which mean a lot to them, and you can jump in there and make your own donations or share a cause which is close to your heart. It is 2022, so we're big on memes. So we've got a place just for memes. A lot of these are actually quite funny. Give me a giggle first thing in the morning. We've got a lot of punters who love a good drink. So we've got something called the Blood, Sweat, and Beers, where everybody takes pictures of their beers, lets everyone know what they're drinking. It's the same few people that we see, though. So we might have a couple of alcoholics. Gaming place. We've got stuff to show your dogs. We've got this new section which just opened up, which is around photography. I did not know how many amateur photographers we had in the Discord group, but everyone's really loving that as well. So, look, enough of the screen share and stuff. The Discord. The Discord server is just not about punting. It is a great community. This is why I say it's the most engaging punting community you're going to find. We talk about all sports. We talk about the betting aspect of it. And then we've got all these general channels which you can just jump into, have a conversation, and look to support somebody else. So that's pretty much a wrap, I must say. So a quick recap on what I've got for you, just in case you were taking some notes. In the Canberra Raiders game, we've got two best bets. It's Canberra plus 3.5 in the first half and Hunts and Young to score a try. And within the Parramatta game, we've got total points over 20.5 in the first half and for Cody Walker to score a try at $3.25. So it's pretty straightforward. I know this episode's been quick, but next week, Luke shall be back on board and we'll get nice and horny with it all again. But look, appreciate y'all for watching. Drop a comment on YouTube if there's anything we may have missed. If you have any thoughts, who do you think is going to win? If you've got a bet you want to share, drop it in the comment section below. And if you haven't liked and subscribed already, please do so. That goes a long way to helping us. We've got 73 subscribers already. I'd like to get it up to 74 by the same time next week if possible. But thank you all dearly. We'll see you all next week, or I'll see you in the Discord. Peace.
Y'all motherfuckers when they get some free tips, best bets, go ahead and flex some. Pick winners all the time, hit it on a daily. This is all free, you don't even have to pay me.